Hello, welcome to the podcast, which is a few hours later than normal today. Should be out in the morning, but there's very good reason for that. Also, this one, if you'll have seen my social media, you'll be expecting to hear from actor, singer, comedian Niall McNamee. But Niall's episode has required so much editing. And I'll tell you now in a sec, that I just needed another couple of days to do it. So I was like, I'm going to jump in, do a quick solo one, and then you'll get the Niall one later. And the Niall one is like, I try and keep these to under an hour. I was like, that's the goal. Like, keep it to like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. But Niall's, the chat was like over 2 hours. I was like, well, I'm not fucking being like Joe Rogan or everyone just sits around navel gazing. So there's a bit of that. Also, the reason that it is being edited is because Niall was cast as Father Dougal in Father Ted the Musical, which then got pulled because Graham Linehan, one of the writers, Graham Linehan, Arthur Matthews wrote it. Graham Linehan became like a crazy transphobe, and it got cancelled because his reputation was ruined. While we were chatting, unbeknownst to us, Graham Linehan got arrested at Heathrow Airport for his tweets. Now, I hate Graham Linehan, and me and him have had we had a back and forth on Twitter where he piled on with all his little transphobic, gross fans and had a go, which was great because they're all scumbags. So it's actually really funny to just, and most of them are really dumb as well. And so it was very easy to just keep going back. It was like dealing with hecklers, but at your leisure while I was in the house. Dude, they all have Union Jacks in their bios. The Venn diagram of uh, putting up flags, trying to burn immigrants' hotels, and being transphobic is a perfect circle. That is what I have understood. Anyway, so Graham got arrested. Now, as I said, I hate Graham Linehan, which is really sad because I also think that he was previously a comedy genius. Father Ted, Black Books, The It Crowd, and loads of other stuff he did. It's like, it's crazy to me. And I feel like someone should scan his brain because there's got to be a problem. But whatever about that. I think that if the reason that he was arrested is what he has said, then it's gross. Like the tweets that he sent, which are like he's a piece of shit. But I don't think I just don't feel like you should be arresting people for like what, like it was just dumb. Anyway, fuck, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. But because of that, I was like, all right, loads of what was like quite funny, that just needs to come out. So I'm doing that. That's the thing with Niall's episode. But when you listen, when you get the episode, what you will hear is Niall talking about supporting the Wolf Tones recently, having contact with Christy Moore and fighting Jackie Chan. Among other things, fighting Jackie Chan when he was cast as an IRA terrorist. So it's something for everyone in there. And it was really good fun. And after the chat then, last night I got invited to go to the premiere of the new Alan Partridge series. And Niall is a crazy Alan Partridge fan. And also, he was just in the Saipan, the Roy Keane, Mick McCarthy movie. He was one of the footballers in that. And Steve Coogan's in that. And he was like, oh my God, I'm such a big fan of Alan Partridge. Terrible impression. But so I just asked and got him a +1. So we went. We had really nice. Met before, had a delicious creamy pint of Guinness, as stereotype demands. And then we went into the cinema. And like, so they showed 2 episodes of this thing. Steve Coogan's there. And it's all like the place is filled with like comedians and everyone. And I just felt so uncomfortable. As soon as there's more than 5 people in a room, I'm like, get me the fuck out of here. I would rather die than be in this room. Everyone's chatting and oh hey, how you doing? just a nightmare. A nightmare. But and also even weirder when you're like, loads of them are famous, so you're like, do I know that guy? Oh no, that's a movie star. Oh, is that? Oh no, that's some. Anyway. So head fry, and so we sort of stayed off to the side, and then in the thing itself, they show 2 episodes, and they're really funny. And if you're a fan of Alan Partridge, you'll definitely like them, right? So everyone's laughing, but and it was a full screen, it was a full cinema screen or cinema room, right? In the row in front of us, a little bit over, was this group of three, a guy and 2 women, right? And the guy and the person next to him were laughing so outrageously that it made me want to murder them. Like they were like they weren't just like laughing as it, and I have a big laugh. While I was like, "Oh yeah, that's very funny," right? He kept like slapping his thighs, rah rah, and going rah at the bits that weren't even that funny, and then she kept clapping, but not like, "Oh yeah, that's good," like a sustained clap alone, and I'm not watching Alan Partridge anymore. I'm watching what the fuck is going on in your head that you think that's acceptable. Like, how do you think that that's not insane that you're doing that, right? To the point where, like, then everyone stops laughing around them because you're like, what is this? Like, is this person on drugs? What's happening here? And what was brilliant was, so there's 2 of them doing that, the fucking giant-headed buffoon. Oh, and he was wearing shorts too, which I don't agree with that. You cannot think I'm going to what is effectively there's like a networky, businessy thing, or even just like I'm going to meet Steve Coogan, whatever it is. You can't do that and be like, what will I wear? Yeah, shorts, that'll do. And the guy was about 50 odd. No one over 50 should be wearing shorts who's not in sport, like as in doing the sport right there. That I'll give you grace. I'll give you the grace of 10 minutes either side to get changed. But after that, if you're just walking around in shorts, what the fuck is going on in your head that you think it's okay? And he was wearing like a shirt. Oh, I just hated everything about him. And the girl likes, so fun. I was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I have such a low tolerance for that. But what was great was the other woman who was with him, who's a bit younger, looked like she wanted to die. And I was like, yes, this is great. Because now I was like, look at the dynamic there. I know everything about them. They obviously are in an office or something. That's why they're probably part of a production company. And she has to deal with these fucking idiots all the time. She has to like, to get by. She was younger, so like I think she was like probably a junior member staff. And she was like, I have to almost be a part of this. And he kept like looking over when he's like slapping his like as if, are you not enjoying this as well as maniacally as I am? And at one point, I realized that I had just been staring at them like dead faced for maybe 30 seconds. Which is too long if you count it. And I turned around and Niall was just looking at me. It's like, we had to go. Like after the 2 episodes, there was meant to be like a Q&A with the Gibbons brothers who wrote it and Steve Coogan. And we both were like, we just have to fucking get out of here. I was like, I'm going to murder 2 people and my career will be in tatters if I do. Oh, imagine slapping your leg. When have you ever laughed so much that you're like, and now I'm going to slap my leg? It was like he had learned how to laugh by watching terrible plays, terrible period set Christmas plays. Oh, bring in the turkey. Oh God! Like, why? How has he got to that? That that's okay. What's his life been? What's his family life? They have to deal with that Sunday dinner. Oh God! I hope the little girl, the wee junior one, gets a new job. Oh, I was like, I've never been more upset. And on the face of it, I get that sounds ridiculous. That you're like, basically what I'm saying there is, I went to watch a comedy and somebody laughed at it, and I got upset. But it was the way they did it. It was the way he did it. It was totally unhinged, performative. Maybe we'll get another job out of this if everyone thinks we're funny. I have zeroed his face. He has been seared into my memory, and now I will know him. And there will be a time when our paths cross, and I will say, see if I ever, see if I ever see you in a pair of shorts around me, so that your thigh is more easily accessible to slap while you're laughing like a fucking idiot. I will murder you. And that will be fine. That will be acceptable. What else was going on? So anyway, that was last night. It was good at Craic, and we went for dinner. And I came back and was like, "Will I try and edit that podcast now?" And I went, "Oh, you know what? I would rather die because it's going to take me fucking 10 hours because I have no idea what I'm doing." What else? Oh yeah, and then we had a very nice weekend. Jenna and I, or two of Jenna's friends were getting married, and it was a really lovely service. Everything was fun and very cool, and it was really nice to be part of a wedding that I had no jobs at. You know when you're just like, other people are doing everything. Normally, like if I'm at a wedding, because I say no to weddings. Like if people invite me to a wedding that I kind of know, even people that I like, but that I know who aren't close friends, I just say no, because I'm like, you don't need me there, really, and I don't need to be there. You know, let's not ruin each other's days just by being there. So I said no, but when it's people you love, obviously say yes. And these guys were great, so obviously I was really happy to go, but also happier then that I had nothing to do. So we just turned up at the service. It was really nice, even though it was a prod service. I was like, they go hard in the paint for like sort of bloody like religion blood stuff and having kids. I was like, this is full on, bro. And then we had the thing after. It was really nice. They had a ceilidh, which I didn't involve myself in, but I watched. I was stood on the outside watching, and I couldn't help but think as the guy was on stage, there was a band playing, and then there was a guy instructing people. Now, form two lines. You go here. Someone put their hand up. You spin under there. Go left. Now, take the other partner. Swing them round. Now you're back to the start again. And, it was like doing a fucking Rubik's Cube in the thing. And I was watching, and I was like, this is what black people think white people are like. No freedom. I was like, thank God the windows were closed, so no one could see it. Everyone was having a good time, but nobody was having a better time than me looking at it. It was amazing. There was a guy in a cowboy hat, and I was like, all right, I know who you are. You know, like white guys in cowboy hats. No, if you're from Texas, yes. If you're in the outback, yes. And we all love cowboy hats. Who doesn't? But that's a whole. If you wear a cowboy hat, that's up there with 50-year-olds wearing shorts. It says something about you. And I think what wearing a cowboy hat says is you play guitar badly and your partner's on the verge of being inappropriately young. There's a 20-year age gap. That's what I think. At one point, I thought there was two of them because there was another guy in a cowboy hat, sort of swan through the room, but he was wearing a waistcoat, and it was just the guy. When he went to leisure mode, he took the waistcoat off. What a legend! But what a really nice day. It was a nice day. We did the allotment Sunday. You know, the journey continues to self-sustainability when the fucking world collapses. Like, we'll have a fig tree. We'll have a fig tree in Wanstead. That'll keep us safe. But really fun. Yeah, really nice weekend. Obviously watching the news about flag protests here, which I can't stress how much I thought leaving Northern Ireland I would escape flag protests. And Ireland has given the world a lot of things, a lot of inventions, pneumatic tires, the submarine, x-rays, color photographs, lots of inventions. But flag protests really you can keep. It's so fucking weird here. And now Keir Starmer is saying, yes, I sit in front of a Union Jack. I sit in front of a Union Jack? What does that even mean? Oh my God. Wild. Fuck me. Flags, like, they're so weird about flags. People who are into flags I find you very strange. I find you very strange. I understand. Like, there's a whole chat around United Ireland at the minute where what do we do? You know, what do we do with this? Do we, like, if Northern Ireland goes into the Republic of Ireland, we have a 32 county. What does that mean? Like, do we keep the thing? I'm like, listen, we'll tell you something. One of my ancestors, Thomas Francis Meagher, was the person who was gifted the Irish tricolour was a gift from France to the Irish rebels, right? And Thomas Francis Meagher was the one who took it back. So in my family, of course, and every generation of my family before mine have fought in a war. So, like, I do understand that, but also I'm like, man, like, we have our own thing then. Like, how exciting to do it, you know? Like, everyone's like, yeah, we have to think about how we would let the unionist people come in as long as they're happy under our flag and anthem and everything. Don't change that. I'm like, nah, let's make a new thing. How fucking cool would that be? But no, you turn on the news and there's the biggest fucking cunt you know hanging up a tricolour. I did, yeah. Somehow we are defeating sexual violence, and we're doing that by putting up flags and painting roundabouts here. What are you doing? Oh, imagine, like, what would you do if you found out that your dad was going out and spray painting a St. George's flag across a zebra crossing, which they're doing here? Like, how do you even chat to that person then? Not because you're like, what does this act say? But you think that is somehow an act of great political strength. Do you want cornflakes for breakfast, Dad? No, Dad. I'm going to tell you right now, not one of the people who were spray painting St. George's flags on roundabouts are also doing the school run. That is what I know. Not one of them is doing the school run. Because they're not, these kids don't have school on weekends when they're allowed to see them. Oh, God. But here, if you're listening or watching and you're writing flags, subscribe to Patreon. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. Actually, though, right enough, thanks to the people who have subscribed to the Patreon. Matt. I really appreciate it. And that's cool. I'm trying to think if there. I think that's pretty much it. So, like, mini episode. You've had the fucking. You've got kind of a breakdown of what happens. Niall, I reckon I can get Niall's thing out on Friday, and I will do that. And I'm only gonna. I'll literally only cut out. It's all bullshit. You're not missing anything big anyway. Because Niall is unlike me, understanding of what it is to have a career. So doesn't talk shit about people. But I do, and I'll fucking happily tell you anything if you ever meet me. I'll break every NDA I've ever signed. Anyway, outside of that, look, there you are. If you like it, please. You need to rate this on Apple or Spotify or whatever you do. If you listen, please rate it, because that pumps it up and allows other people to listen, and share it. I would love that. And that's it. Enjoy your week, and I'll cut back in Friday. You'll hear the crack. Bye.